Well, hello, everybody. This is Lupe SOTO, and to my right is Tatiana Fox, and to my left is Rebbecca Scales, and we are the Real Poker Girls of Las Vegas. This podcast is now in our fourth or fifth episode, and we're just so excited about it and hope that you are all enjoying it. And this is January 2024. Can you freaking believe it?
Nope.
I know. It's like we're all just a little exhausted. You guys are going to have to forgive all the bags and everything going on. But the holidays were amazing, and I hope you all had a fantastic time. And this is the new year. So what do we do in the new year? But
make goals,
resolutions, all that good kind of stuff. And, not only personal goals, but we also should make some poker goals because there's, I know that I personally have several poker goals this year. And one is just to survive the amazing year that we have coming up because it's full packed with venues for everybody to attend. And I know that I've got something special happening and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But, how about you guys? What are you doing for your poker goals this year?
I just want to be in the top 10% of my horse league. That would make me really happy.
Good luck with that.
I know, exactly. I understand it's a lofty goal.
Poker, the horse league here in Las Vegas is filled with pros.
I'm aware.
So that horse league, if you are in the top 10%, you need to shout it from a mountaintop, okay? Tell everybody, I made it to the top 10%. And I've, because we got bracelet winners and all kinds of stuff in that league.
I'm aware. It's very hard.
That's why super hard.
That's why it's my goal.
It's a great goal.
I don't like anything that's not challenging.
Right? I hear that. How about you, Tat?
I'd like to get a first place this year. I've had so many third, like probably 5 thirds in 08.
Oh.
Omaha. So I'm focusing on Omaha and I'm going to bring a trophy this year. That's it. Like full study, full force going for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really great.
I've got to get it off, this monkey off my back. I'm just so tired of third. I mean, I battle so hard and I just miss, doesn't fall my way or, I get, rivered, which is common in Omaha. But
welcome to poker.
I'm really focusing in on just getting there this year, getting there. And a lot of travel. Like we're going to Brazil in January.
Yes.
Me and Rebbecca. We haven't told you.
I don't think my phone got rang for that one. Okay.
Surprise.
Yeah. What's happening in Brazil?
They're having the biggest poker festival in South America's ever had at Rio de Janeiro. And so
I wonder when that's happening. I might have to
you want to come?
Do you have a piece of luggage about so tall and so wide?
So we're really excited to go there and support the ladies event and maybe in a working capacity. We're not allowed to say just yet. And then we have the Malta Poker Festival in April, which we are working at. We're doing all the tours for the poker groups. So,
wow.
Yeah, we're going on a yacht or boat or something.
And if any of you saw us on our boat last time, we had a good time. It was only a 3-person wrap.
It was a party boat.
But me, AJ, and Tat had a really good time. I don't think I've laughed that hard and I can't remember when.
This time we have to behave. We have to behave because we're like tour guides. So yeah, we can't go crazy.
There's behaving, and then there's, like my son would say when he was little, being have. I like that much better because it's just a little off, and you can still be you. I remember the very first time I got wasted in a poker room in an official capacity.
Oh my.
And I was with Jan Fisher and Linda Johnson, and we were in Reno, and we were hosting an event up there. It was a charity event. And I accidentally told many people hey, we got to do a shot together, right?
Uh-oh.
Well, they didn't all show up at the same time. So next thing you know, I'm doing a shot with that one and a shot with that one and a shot with that one. And, well, obviously I was the one that paid the price, but we were playing Omaha.
Oh,
and we were sitting at the table, and apparently I couldn't lose. everything that I bet, I won. Everything. And so I guess I hit the wall at some point, and they called security to take me to my room.
Oh my
And I went to the room. And then the next day I woke up for the event. Of course, I was all in a panic and everything. And it wasn't so wasted that you don't remember everything, but there were moments I didn't remember at all. So Jan Fisher comes up to me midday, and she reaches into her pocket, and she has this money clippy thing, and she opens it up and she just starts peeling off money. And I was like, what are you doing? She goes, you want the money? And I was like, sure, but why are you giving me money? Apparently, I racked out all kinds of racks, and she took my money and took it to the cage for me and everything, and I didn't even know. So don't get that kind of behaving.
I'm sure you'll hear about it if we do.
Well, now I've got to pass because I'll bring that up.
Yeah.
We'll be like, well, Lupe did this.
Exactly. And you know what? Everybody forgives you, so it's okay. I kept my clothes on, and that's what they really forgave me for.
Have you guys seen Game of Gold?
Yes, I'm obsessed with it.
You know, I have seen many, many posts. I have seen lots of commentary about how it's fabulous.
What do you
I
think?
haven't seen it yet.
I think it's great. I love that GG Poker put 4 women on it. 20. I think that's about 25% of their field. There's 16, right?
She worked it out.
I did. I worked it out right away. I was like, okay, let's see what's going on. I love these women that are on there. I work with Kinda, so I really like watching her on screen. But I was really just taken back by Olga and Nikita, who I've never seen play. But Nikita came in 96th in the main event, so she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. I am going to be the newbie. I'm not exactly sure what the concept of this is. I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
So it's like a team, it's like a Survivor team event where they've put, I don't want to say oldies, but they put people who are already recognized, like Negrano
Pros.
and Maria Ho and David Williams and big pros. And they put people they're all GG ambassadors, and they put some people that you don't really know. And they put them all together, and they put them on different teams, and they go heads up, and then teams get eliminated, and you get gold coins, and it's really fun. It's like a reality show, but with poker.
Oh, wow.
So it's really fun to watch, and you're rooting for your people. I just think that we need to get a GoFundMe account for Charlie, though. He needs a shirt. Like, we got to find Charlie a GoFundMe account. Like, this guy needs some shirts.
I didn't love him in the last episode against, who was it? Olga. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't love him in that. I'm like, put some clothes on.
That's what I was saying. He needs some shirts. He doesn't wear shirts at the poker table.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Charlie, I see you.
I mean,
he can wear it open if he wants, but he needs a shirt.
Well, it is open. It's very like hippie, like, I don't know. What
Free
you call it?
love.
Free love. Like, he's got like a
Flower
very,
child.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so it's open, and he's got his chest all out.
Oh, okay.
okay, why can't we have Patrick Antonius on there with no shirt?
Oh.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, I'd vote.
There's no voting.
Oh,
They have to
I
win
can't vote him off the
points.
island or whatever.
But I think a really interesting part to watch, though, too, is just you can see the evolution of poker on it, because the people that were already like all pros, they play a lot more. I'm not going to say they don't play GTO, but there's a lot more GTO in the younger ones.
Yeah.
And so you see the two different ways they play when they're heads up with each other. And it's been interesting to watch them go at each other.
So I have a question about it. So you're saying that it's the pros versus the
Not at all.
novice?
No.
Or
They're on teams together.
They're on teams together. So does each, and there's 4 teams.
There was 4 teams to
Depends.
start. Now we're down to less than that.
Oh, so it is like Survivor. They
It
get
is
thrown
like
off the
Survivor.
island.
Yeah.
But the ones that kind of are pros and have been made poker stars, some of them have had complete meltdowns. Like, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Type of stuff. And the younger ones are like, yeah, we know exactly who you are.
Thanks for teaching us. We
Yeah,
watched your
we
podcast.
watched you.
But the aim of it is the last person left wins 400,000. So you're trying to win as a team to get you to the final stage, but then you're trying to win as many coins as an individual as well. So it's kind of like a bit strategic.
You have to jockey
Yeah.
for like who goes first,
goes
because the
first.
first person gets more coins. So that's where the survivor element and the like stuff comes in,
Okay.
basically.
I am dedicated now. I will watch an episode.
Well, Jungle Man had a meltdown.
Who?
Jungle Man. Dan
Oh,
Cates.
really?
Yeah, big one. It was pretty funny.
Complete meltdown.
It was actually hilarious. It was very entertaining. It was all over Twitter, poker Twitter.
And then Maria took him out.
That's my girl. So awesome.
It was really
And,
good.
and the other good thing is you hear them discuss what they're doing. So they're in the war room watching their teammate. So say it's like one of us is playing and you guys are in here and you're like, why did she do that? Oh my gosh, she's going to raise, go, you know? So you get to see how they think strategically and then they argue amongst themselves. No, why didn't he 3-bet there? Or, you know?
Wow.
What I really like about that too is when you don't get so much heads up play, it's really awesome to watch them get to do a lot of the heads up stuff. So you get to see the ranges. They open up so much, which is just shocking to me, some of the cards they play.
No, well, you have to, your heads up.
Well, I
yeah.
know, but you just don't get a lot of practice with that. So to watch it so much heads up, like, you know, because even,
Yeah, miss third place. You don't get a lot of practice
even
with
in
that.
the dailies, they chop. You just
Yeah,
don't really
I'm
get
third
heads
place.
up that often.
That's very
you,
true.
You hardly ever get heads up. They always chop everything in Vegas.
You got to play heads up with your coach.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, it's fun to watch them play heads up, and like you said, you get to see them think it out. So find that intriguing.
So now I have to start watching poker television and I have to get a coach.
Okay,
like,
so
geez.
let me tell you
Get
right
a
now, it's on YouTube. It's put out. It's put
Poker
out. Yeah, no, Gigi. Gigi put
Poker.
this. So this is Gigi. Gigi put this out.
Okay.
So
And
it's
they're
all
not
their
paying
ambassadors.
us to say that.
They are not paying us to say that. But if you'd like to pay us, Gigi,
Yeah,
you're more than welcome.
We're open to it. Just saying. Yeah.
But yeah, it's on GG Poker. So YouTube, GG Poker. You
Yeah.
find
Okay.
it,
I
yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
I can do this.
You're well behind. You got to catch up.
Yeah, I think
know.
I think I watched the latest one this morning. That's like the 5th one, right?
10.
10?
Episode 9 or 10.
Look at I can't count.
Well, I can't believe it's January. So I get it. It's kind of crazy.
It's a pretty cool show, and I think it's needed, something different like that than just watching live streams or, you know, it's really opens up a wider audience, 100%.
Well, I've had people that are outside of poker that work for Disney, which I found this really interesting, that were they liked Game of Gold. And they actually said they didn't think they were going to like the new players like the Kainas and Charlies. And they're very intrigued by them. They're like, I thought I would only like the Negranos and Marias because I knew them. And so they were really excited. And I think it's bringing new people.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get some new poker stars.
I love that.
Who's your favorite so far?
I mean, I like watching Kaina, but I think that's my soft spot because I work with her. But I'm really intrigued with Olga.
Oh, wow, she's cool.
She's cool and she's good.
Yeah, she's
really
really
good. Yeah.
I like Fedor. I think his personality. This is the other thing. Usually when you see these guys, they're full on in full attack mode, professional poker face, and you get to see another side of them, like their actual personality. And he's impressed me.
Oh, personality wise, Josh, I love him.
Really?
Yeah, you don't think his personality is great?
He's very sweet. He's a good guy.
I think he's funny behind the scenes.
That's wonderful. So they kind of do cameo stuff, you know, off the screen,
Well,
like
'cause
off the table rather.
Yeah, because you see them in the war room talking about their
war room.
teammate out there.
I
they're-
like the word war room.
They're watching their teammate play, and then they get to discuss it.
They're
amongst
discussing it
themselves.
amongst
That's
themselves.
cool.
Yeah.
Except for
That's
Jungle
really
Man,
cool.
who sleeps through it all.
Yeah. He was sleeping.
He sleeps through every episode when he's not playing, pretty much. So.
It was pretty funny. It was
That
pretty
is
funny.
hilarious.
And it's actually funny. 'Cause, I mean, they're probably there like 13 hours. God knows. I'd be sleeping too.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I think they filmed it in Korea, so it's cool. It's really cool to watch.
That's awesome.
It's a different take, and it's something new.
And we need things like that. We need to inject some life into the poker industry in general, you know, just either with new people, new personalities, you know, or new programming or new tours or, you know, the different things that are coming up.
haven't you got a new tour?
Well,
What's your new thing?
it's not a new tour, but it is a celebration of an old tour. So this is 2024, and it is the anniversary of 20 years of the Ladies International Poker Series, the LIPS Tour.
Oh, my.
I know. Really, I started when I was 3. But yeah, 20 years. I can't even believe that it's rolled by that fast. And you know what they say, when you love something, it doesn't feel like work. Well, I love it, and I still love it. It's still, as exciting to get things together, to find new venues and all that kind of stuff. But this year we're doing an anniversary tour, and our goal is to do 20 stops in 20 years. And for those of you that would like to join us on our tour, we're stopping at Texas Card House in Houston, and that'll be our first launch spot of the year. And we will be there, I believe it's I don't want to open my phone to look, but it's the second week of January. And if you can go to lipstour.com, you'll see the schedule and it'll have all the information for you. So come join us, because there's some really exciting things that are happening. We're going to do a Player of the Year for that tour. And so the woman who wins in the Player of the Year for that year is going to win their $1,000 seat into the Ladies WSOP. They're going to win their $1,100 seat into the WPT Ladies Championship, and a seat, of course, but this will be for 2025, the Lips Championship as well. So that's just the beginning of the fun stuff that's going on. And, we're still working on a bunch of different promotions and things like that. But you want to get in on that, because you want to make sure that you're on that top list so that you get that top spot.
Dang it, you're going to make me play Hold'em.
Well, that's the thing. It's difficult. And that's a good point, because I think that the challenge is real estate, always with the venues. Yeah. They're saying, well, we got this and we got that. And fortunately, they will try and find a place for you. And sometimes that's in the middle of one of their own series. Right. And so when that's happening, then it's more difficult to add, something other than Hold'em in there. And as we know, it's the most popular game
in the world
in poker.
Is it because they don't have dealers that deal the other games too?
There are properties where they don't do anything but Hold'em, and
I think it's industry side, you can get more hands out.
Yeah.
Oh, police for sure.
Yeah, you can get more hands out, and it takes
because you throw away 90% of your hands. At least you're supposed to anyway. So
yeah, 80% technically, but yes.
So that's what it is.
When I play, it's 90%. Let me just say, it's like, God, that looks so ugly. That looks so ugly. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
So, how about new projects? Any new projects for either one of you?
Me, I was thinking about doing another book with Rob, Michael, and Chris. I've got to convince Chris, let's do it. But it's like an advanced horse poker book now. So that's sort of stirring around.
That would be great.
So yeah, really advanced, like Michael, Rob, Chris level advanced.
Did you guys see that Ari Engel won his the mixed game festival was here in town in December, and they had a horse game, and the winner of the horse tournament won their way to the WPT Voyage. The thing. And Ari Engel, of course, won it because, talk about a field of pros. Miami John. You're talking about, it was like another, how many bracelets can we count in that field? It was an amazing tournament. And, my hat's off to Card Player Lifestyle. They did an amazing job at that mixed game festival. And, of course, Robbie I can never say his last name. Whatever. Robbie. Everybody knows him as Robbie anyway. So. That's pretty impressive.
So that was a big turnout too, wasn't it?
It was for a horse, middle of the day, middle of the week kind of an event. I think there was almost 100 players, which is good.
That's cool.
Yeah, and and with that kind of a prize being offered was pretty amazing. I unfortunately couldn't play it because my life was crazy.
I do have some breaking, exciting news.
Oh, I love it.
I think I'm allowed to say it. Jeannie David is hosting the horse event at the Malta Poker Festival.
Get out.
No, she is.
Well, now I've got to go.
Yeah.
It'll be the crew. The crew.
I know, right?
Crew. And the thing is, me and Becca were lucky enough to be consulted on it. And we thought it should be a lady for once. because it's always gentlemen, and that's okay because more gentlemen play mixed games.
Certainly.
But when we said, man, wouldn't it be amazing to have a lady be the face of the horse festival? Who else could we get? Like,
Yeah.
seriously,
Yeah.
who else was a better fit?
She's amazing.
Yeah, so it's so exciting. We're so excited for Jeannie. She's going to be amazing. And she's teaching a class for free
Okay.
before the event in Malta.
So for the present, the players that are
players
present.
that are present, yeah. So she's doing a free class
is
as
so
well.
exciting.
So it's going to be really cool. So we're trying to make this horse event in Malta a big deal.
It is a big deal.
So-
I mean, just by having this is we'll just have to push the heck out of it.
And
I know.
anyone who hasn't been to Malta, it is the most beautiful place. The water is blue. You're 45 minutes from Italy. The food is amazing. The restaurants. I think there was what did Alana tell me? There was a ridiculous amount of Michelin star restaurants in this little island area.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
Wow.
Everything I had was exquisite. All the food I had was exquisite.
It's just
when food is
beautiful.
too pretty, I don't want to eat it.
But it's affordable too. It's not
Yeah.
crazy prices.
It's not like Monaco, huh?
No,
No, not at all.
Oh, wow.
No, it was very reasonable.
And everybody's happy and nice, and it's beautiful and clean and safe.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's like got that, the history side to it.
I know all the women that have traveled to Malta on their own, and they've come from all over the place. They feel incredibly safe. And that to me is a huge factor when traveling by yourself to a foreign country.
Yeah, and
that's
because you're
amazing.
playing poker, you're leaving the casino late at night with money and whatever, and you don't speak the language, but that's not an issue there.
So what's the language in Malta?
Maltese.
It is Maltese, but there's a heavy Italian influence. So there's a lot of people that speak Italian also because it's so close. And there's there's a lot of Italian food.
I can understand it.
Italian.
Italian.
I love that.
Italiano.
Italian.
Depending on where you're from.
Yeah. So I can go there and I'll be able to understand the Italian.
Yeah.
And then if I go to Brazil, I'll be able to understand the
Well,
Portuguese.
yeah, well, you can speak
So-
Portuguese, so it's easy.
Yeah,
Easy
it's-
peasy.
Sort of, kind of. It's not that easy, but
Brazil, I have no guarantees I'm going to be on best behavior.
it's Rio, baby.
That's Rio. We're talking Rio, Copacabana Beach.
Ow. All right.
The big Jesus on the mountain.
Yeah. Oh, he'd be watching. Just remember that. He'd be watching.
He's watched a lot.
Yeah, I know, huh? If he could just speak. Oh, my word.
So, and with the Rio event, Carnival is right after it. So it finishes on the 8th of Feb, and 8th of Feb's Carnival.
Right.
So
right.
we're going to that.
Well, one of the things I wanted to make sure that our listeners start looking into is, we're only months away. I can't even believe this, but from the World Series of Poker.
Oh, my goodness.
So if you can, between now and then, find yourself a group of women who are interested, or it doesn't have to be just women, but I encourage that, to form a league and win your way into some of the bigger events that are happening during the summer. It doesn't always have to be a WSOP event because, as you know, this is Poker Mecca in the summer, and everybody has a festival and everybody has a main event. So just look at the calendars, even if you look from last year's calendar, because this year's isn't published yet. But if you look at last year's and just kind of peruse what properties were doing what, you can get a really good idea as to what you might want to play for. And get your friends together, even if it's online together. Put your money into a pool every month. You've got an opportunity for, 5 months, January through at least May, to be able to come up with a buy-in on the cheap. So I strongly recommend that you either do it yourself or look into somebody who's already doing it and get that league started.
That's really good advice. And if you guys, especially ladies, post your packages on our Facebook page. There's so many ladies on there that can't make it and would love to have a piece of action.
Oh, I love that idea. Yeah.
Let's let them try and get some, money in.
And just so you all know, I don't purchase pieces of people. And the reason I don't is because I love you all. And I think you're all fantastic. And I'd be broke if I bought a piece of all the people who I think are fantastic. So what I do for you is I cheer you on, and I'll do everything that is possible, and I'll celebrate you. But don't be offended if I don't buy a little piece, because I just made it a rule. It was easier that way.
Becca's got a new project this year.
Well, this girl is one of the hardest working women in poker, just so you know. She's never home. She's always running around the country, around the world, actually, and doing things. So tell us about this.
So I'm going to start a company called Shattering the Glass, which is going to be about women in poker and media, and making it look more like women. Just women take in media differently than men do. And I think all the media outlets we have at this point are basically all kind of a men-based idea. And I think women want to see more than just hand histories. I love hand histories. They're great, but you can only take in so many hand histories. So I would like to do something a little more mainstream that brings poker into both mainstream, but also just like, we always say, like at Poker Power, that the C-suites need to look more like us, and that's the problem. And I think that's in anything. I think you need to put women in more spots to where we can change things. If we really want to grow, we really want to move, we have to put women in spots. And so I think the best way to do that is have women cover women. They understand what they want and what they see.
I agree. I so strongly agree with that. And I was asked this morning, I was on another podcast this morning, and one of the things they asked me was, what was the thing I wanted to do for 2024 as, well, I guess that's my goal, right? My goal for 2024. And where another project, which is, of course, in tandem with what she's doing, is we are developing a women's poker conference for 2024. And it is collaborative. It is involving anybody who is either a player or an industry. So we're looking at operators, we're looking at online operators, we're looking at media, we're looking at everything. And it's going to be women-centric. How women are in the game, what would we like to see, how breakout sessions, specific to different industry or player or whatever, and make it completely about the goals that need to take place in our industry to advance women in the game. And I'm really looking forward to that. And if you have any ideas, or if anybody was interested in either working on it, oh, I forgot to mention, it is a collaborative thing, but it is benefiting Poker Gives. So any proceeds that come from ticket sales for attending will go to Poker Gives. So we're very excited about that. And that is just a nice little full circle on things. So if you have any ideas or whatever, just feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me at Lupe at lupesoto.com. It's pretty easy. And
you have a
or
lupesoto.com.
Yeah. Yes.
I do.
You don't know that?
No.
The beauty
I just
of
text her.
right. But the beauty of being in the internet world since the beginning of time is that you're able to get your own domain names and stuff like that way back in the day, So, yeah.
.coms are hard to come by.
I got a TatianaFox.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty hard to come by.
It's easier because your resume is online. You just go to my website.
Yeah, but there's not a whole lot of Tatiana Foxes in the world. There's a shit ton of Lupe Sotos in the world. Okay, just saying. It is so crazy.
Not really, Tad. I told you what that name sounds like.
A porn star name, I know, all right?
That'd be a pole dancing, stripping hoe. What can I say?
That is what you get when you look up Tatiana Fox.
It's real. Okay.
It is real.
It's legal. It's real.
Yeah.
I was married to someone whose legit name is Fox.
They made you a foxy lady. That's fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I get asked that all the time. Is that like a stage name? I'm like, for what?
Right?
I'm like, no, it's my real name.
I think that's fantastic. And
funny.
you can just say, inquiring minds want to know, but it doesn't mean I'm going to tell.
Stage name.
Yeah.
Right?
Even when I list my name to play poker, they list Tatiana Fox. They never put just Tatiana, and they scream on the microphone, Tatiana Fox, table, whatever. And all the guys go, ooh, I want to play with Tatiana Fox. And I'm like bright red walking through the floor. Like, really? You have to scream on the mic? Like they scream at Tatiana, thanks.
When I go register, if I'm not in Vegas and I go put my name on the board, I put Jennifer Lopez.
I love that.
Hey, J-Lo.
J-Lo.
You there?
Oh my gosh.
I know. Hey, one can dream. It's okay.
Funny.
It's all right. So are we definitely on your Shattering of the Glass, are we looking for input as far as like people who might want to write for you, or are we looking for idea slants on what they would like to see?
I definitely would love people to help me write, but I have a budget of 0. So my friends, Tatiana, is on my volunteer committee. Is on my volunteer committee and happens to have a journalism degree. So I'm going to take full advantage of her first. And then
Oh my. Well, at least I get a free room.
because
Yes.
Lupe has taught me how the art of this, taking full advantage
Yes.
of me. So I take full advantage of my friends now.
Let me just say that there is a wealth of talent in this poker world with women. And, if anybody, I shouldn't say this anybody, but most of the time you will find that a lot of the women who are entrepreneurs and come into this come in with no budget. They just have a passion and they have a need. They see it. They want to do it and they want to fill that need. So I think there's nothing wrong with that. If you look at some of the poker publications, like what was that one? Oh gosh, darn it! There's been so many. Anyway, they basically made ambassadors out of people around the country, and they said, "Would you write for your region and tell us?" And they were published in the magazine. I think that's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with being collaborative, and there's nothing wrong with supporting an idea or a passion for anybody else. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't be having anything as far as the poker industry went for women.
Exactly.
Well, we see so many girls traveling. We've been traveling a lot, and this year again, internationally. And we see so many girls and meet so many girls, and they have so many amazing stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they got there, where they're going, what their side businesses are. And it's like, well, let's just put it out there. Let's write about them.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited because this is, well, when you've been around the block as long as I have, you can tell how many or how much attention is being paid by the industry towards women. And I can remember many years ago, but where there was maybe 5 to 10 ladies events in a year.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the calendar for the first quarter so far?
Yes.
For
Heaps.
women's events?
It is unbelievable.
That means it's working, ladies.
I know.
It's working. The conversations, the different entities that are talking to operators, operators understanding that, women are a valuable commodity in bringing new blood to the game and all that stuff. So I was shocked when I already saw, just the ones of the things that have been published. And there's a lot of people who haven't even published their first quarter. It's just now starting to trickle out. And I know I'm guilty of the same thing. I haven't even put out my calendar yet for the first quarter. And holy cow, I'm excited. That means lots of celebrating women's games.
I'm excited
Out
too.
there.
Because
Yeah.
we've done a lot of hard work to get here.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of hard work to get here.
I think that is something to be recognized, though, because if you look at the why it's happening, it's a very small pool of people that are, and I'm not saying, if you look at when women play in the game, it's a small piece of the pie of the industry. But even out of that pie, it's like a bite of the pie that are the women that are out there making a difference. And, I applaud everybody who is having those conversations or coming up with an idea to bring more women in, even if it's a home game or if it's a meetup at your local, casino or maybe writing an article about an experience that they had. That every single little article or podcast or what do they call those reels or TikToks or all this stuff that everybody's doing, or the lives on Facebook, it all makes a difference because it's more attention to women in the game.
It's more attention to women in the game, but there's also something else it's doing. So we know the barriers that stopped women from playing. And I think the harassment we're kind of taking, I'm not going to say we're completely taking care of. There's still a lot of industry that needs to sign on to raise it up and change the way that they do things. But I think that is a lot of attention paid to that. But what it is doing is it's making the social norm, and it's okay. Women now can go into poker rooms. It's not the smoky, gross place. And we're changing the conversation.
I agree.
And we're making it normal, and it's not a bad thing for women to play poker. And that's huge.
Mm-hmm. And places like Brazil, when you were talking about Brazil, it is so shocking to me that the culture there totally embraces women playing the game.
There's a ladies event.
I know. And that's fantastic. And Brazil has been a big market for many, many years.
Yeah.
And live, last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But before that, online, they were huge.
Yeah.
It was a huge market. Brazil. I was talking about Brazil. But if you go to Mexico, it's very hard to see women in the game. It's two Latin countries with very vast different things. But here in America and, Canada, some of the Northern American countries, I think that women are fully accepted. You might have some individuals that are sitting at the table that might not accept you very well, but I think as a norm, as an industry, they're saying, yeah, this person deserves to be here. We want to see them here, and how do we get more of you here? So I want to see everybody who plays live to just have a quick conversation with the operator there, the poker room manager or the floor supervisor, and say, hey, you know what? Is there anything that we can do to help bring women in the game over here in this room right here? Because I think that too can make a difference. And then if you need help with that, you contact the Women's Poker Association. They have the whole Raise It Up program for operators, on help to, how, or the conversations to have to eliminate some of the barriers and all the programs that are out there for everybody.
Oh, no. I mean, there's some guys that say, well, why have ladies event? Just play poker mainstream. And the thing is, a lot of ladies, to get into the game and to have the confidence to play live with men in a big event, like the ladies event is like the stepping stone.
To a major, yeah.
And that's what a lot of guys don't get. Like I get so many girls saying, if it wasn't for the ladies events, I wouldn't have got confidence to go and play normal events.
That was me. I went to Lupe's event.
Really?
Yeah. I showed up at Lupe's event. Yeah, it was totally me.
I just dived straight in to the jungle. But yeah, a lot of girls say that to me, and that's why I support them and encourage them and try to help them get them going. Only for that reason, because it makes girls comfortable. And ladies of all ages, young, old, it doesn't matter. They all feel the same.
Well, and we see that at Poker Power. Literally, we have community, and the women feel safe in that community, playing against each other, getting their confidence, building it. And then they'll go play the big tournaments. But they have to feel confident first. I love it.
Very interesting. And I shared this morning on Kara Scott's podcast, but it's worth sharing again. I went to the bank and I was doing a notary, and the bank guy says, well, do you have your ID and do you have it, the little bank card, right? Well, my bank card is a picture of me from the Women in Poker Hall of Fame on my bank card.
Oh, wow.
And it's just a conversation piece, right? And so he goes, poker? Do you play poker? And I was like, why, yes, I do. And then we just started to have a conversation, and he was adorable. He was a younger guy, I would say maybe early 30s. And he said, I play poker online. He goes, I play, 1 cent, 2 cent, and then I've moved up to 5 cent, 10 cent.
Yes.
And he goes, but I'm terrified to go to a poker room.
Oh, my.
He goes, I live in Las Vegas, and there's poker rooms all around me. He goes, I'm afraid of making a mistake.
Number one thing heard.
Yes. And I was like, wow, okay, here I'm in the thick of things. I think that it is vitally important to have the newbie tours, and it's not specific to women. I think it just needs to be anybody. I encourage, especially casinos that have other than poker in their rooms, like slots and all that other stuff, the regular kind of casinos, not poker rooms, but those, if they can just think outside of the box a little bit and encourage players who play some of the other games to come to a little introductory in the poker room. This is who you walk up to, and this is how you put your name on the board, and then this is where you buy your chips, and all the little things that happen in a poker room. And one of the other things that I asked him was, he lives really close to the Orleans Casino, and I said, that's a very popular poker room. There are so many opportunities for you to go in, and if you just tell the poker desk that this is your very first time playing poker live, I guarantee you that they will take you to your seat. They will help you. They'll tell the dealer that it's your first time. And when a players hear that it's somebody's first time, they're usually incredibly welcoming.
They are the sharks.
Yeah.
I don't know. You've seen me in the Orleans.
I know. Well, but I mean, I think that is kind of true in most of the poker rooms.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They give them a pass when they make mistakes. They don't get cranky. They don't get screamed at as much.
Right, and if they act out of turn or something, they'll be more forgiving. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And over time, and I think there isn't anybody who hasn't had those first time jitters at a poker table, a real poker table, not the home game, but the one where you go to
casino,
it and you really, and you put your money down. And they're not your friends; they're just strangers. So I think that every poker room could afford to put together a newbie program for anybody.
No, I agree. I get that a lot. Because, by the way, when you go through TSA with poker chips, they always stop you. So I go through TSA regularly with poker chips, and it's always a conversation starter. And the guys will say that to me, like, I can't believe you play poker. And then they tell me the same things. They're scared to death to walk into the room.
TSA will always stop you with poker chips and burritos. Just saying.
Fair enough. I'm already
one of those missiles in foil.
I get stopped every time in TSA, so I'm not trying to find more things to stop me for.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, we're very excited about this entire 2024 year because, I mean, there's never been a time like this. The climate is ripe for women in poker, and anybody who is interested in finding, either education or where to go or any of that, I recommend that to just go online, go to the Women's Poker Association. There's also a reference area there that has a list of all the different entities out there that provide different information. Look it up, spend a few time. And I guess I better be one of those people and go watch Game of Gold.
And for the new girls, go on Poker Power. Like, you can't go wrong there. Like, if you've never even played a hand, they start at step one.
Yes, that's true.
And that's
but I would have to say that the people who are those people aren't the people who listen to poker podcasts. Those are usually the people who are.
I don't know, because they like me and I tell them.
Yeah, I know, but they met you through it, right? They didn't meet you by listening to a poker podcast and then finding out the information.
No, that's
I think it's like a next step.
Yeah.
It's a next step is when you start learning about, the podcasts, and then the just like it's not the first step to learn about poker coaching or, that kind of stuff. It's a next step. But what we are saying is encourage those new people in your circle of influence to find the podcasts and to find those women's groups and to find, their local poker rooms and things. So,
so many times, even in Melbourne at Crown, which kind of the thing you're not allowed to, in Vegas, it's great to go and play with a friend because you can sit behind them. It's in a cash game, not in a tournament.
Right.
And Melbourne, you're not allowed to sit behind anyone, stand around the table, none of it, even in the cash games. So even like here in Vegas, if you come and you've got a friend that plays, like, just sit behind them and watch and get a feel for what's going on. And no one will care. Like, no one minds. There's always someone sitting behind someone.
That's how I learned.
On a Saturday night.
That's how I learned.
In Vegas.
And now, because that's how I learned, I can't pass up if I see a girl sitting behind her boyfriend or her husband or whatever, and if I see it, I go up to her every single time and I'm like, hi. I said, oh, I see that you're watching the game. And if they're on their phones or something like that, and I'm like, you really should watch what he's doing because this is a really fun game. And there's a lot of women who play this game. And I think if you just pay attention a little bit, you're going to really enjoy it and stuff like that. I try to encourage them and I tell them, that's how I started, you know?
I do know that the people I do teach most of the time, they get the bug. Like as soon as you teach them, like they're just like, oh my gosh, I love this. And they get the bug.
Yeah.
And I think women are really good because we, the way our minds think and we're strategic and, we do all these things already naturally in our everyday lives that poker just kind of complements all of that.
100%. Yeah. And once they figure that out, they're like, oh, I can do this and I can be good at it.
Mm-hmm. And there's money involved? Money to be won? Oh.
Yeah, big money sometimes.
Right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't usually get to the big money because the big money's in tournament play, and I really am not a tournament player. I'm a cash game girl, and,
Still.
Oh, yeah. And I don't play nosebleed either, cash games, I'm a recreational gal.
Yeah, everything in moderation, of course, like for everybody out there, don't go too crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I get asked so many times, how did you learn? How did you start? Where can I learn? Girls just watching you with the boyfriends, waiting for their boyfriends.
Yeah.
And then they'll say things like, I'm secretly rooting for you.
Yeah.
Take his money. Yeah.
When I go by a poker table and there's like one woman sitting there, I do the one woman wave, and say, I'm rooting for you, So I'm just weird. Okay. That's crazy. So is there anything else that we want to share with these gals before we sign off today? Okay, everybody's got the big question mark that went above our head.
Happy New Year. And I hope you're
Happy New Year. It's a big one, 2024.
Yeah, Happy New Year. I hope the cards fall your way and you don't get rivered in Omaha. And I hope that for myself too.
That's always great advice, Jack.
Yes.
You do have to have a little bit of luck.
Yeah. And find a friend. I want to tell everybody, find a friend that doesn't play and expose them to this wonderful game that we all love. And mostly we just want the best for you guys and enjoy it, embrace it. Come listen to our podcast. Go to all the different ladies' resources that are out there for you and find something this year to make it a goal and commit to it. And we'll see how you do at the end of the year for your success. From all of us, the Real Poker Girls of Las Vegas, we want to thank you and we wish you the best year possible.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.